also on this holiday eve. We've had a no-notice surprise drop of this little bombshell from the Intelligence Committee in the U.S. Senate. Quote, "The Senate Select Committee on Intelligence is conducting a bipartisan investigation into a wide range of Russian activities relating to the 2016 U.S. presidential election. While elements of the investigation are ongoing, the committee is releasing initial unclassified findings on a rolling basis as distinct pieces of the investigation conclude. The committee has now concluded an in-depth review of the intelligence community assessment produced by the CIA, the NSA, and the FBI in January 2017 on Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. The committee has initial findings to share with the American people. The committee finds that the intelligence community assessment about Russian meddling in the election is, quote, a sound intelligence product. Quote, in all of the reviews with those who drafted and prepared the intelligence community assessment, the committee heard consistently that analysts were under no politically motivated pressure to reach any conclusions. All analysts expressed that they were free to debate, object to content, and assess confidence levels as is normal and proper for the analytic process. As the inquiry has progressed since January 2017, the committee has also seen additional examples of Russia's attempts to sow discord, undermine democratic institutions, and interfere in U.S. elections. Quote, the committee concurs with intelligence and open source assessments that the Russian influence campaign was approved by President Putin. Quote, Moscow did seek to denigrate Secretary Clinton. So this is a resounding statement from the Intelligence Committee in the Senate saying when that report came out from the NSA and the FBI and the CIA in January 2017, as the Obama administration was leaving and the Trump administration was about to be sworn in, that intelligence community assessment that said Russia had meddled in the election to try to throw the election to Trump. Now the Intelligence Committee in the Senate, the bipartisan Intelligence Committee, both Republicans and Democrats are saying, yeah, that intelligence community report, that was sound. And over time, it's only been more proven out by what we have learned since. Now, in contrast, this past week, President Trump has literally quoted Vladimir Putin and the Russian government in their denials that they ever meddled in the 2016 election. The intelligence community assessment from January of last year says, oh, yes, they did. And now this bipartisan no dissent Senate report on that intelligence finding says that it's bulletproof. Quote, the committee believes the conclusions of the intelligence community assessment are sound, and notes that collection and analysis subsequent to the assessment's publication continue to reinforce its assessments. Right? So right, this seems important, particularly given the fact that the sitting president of the United States keeps denying that Russia ever did this. This is an important report. Why did the Intelligence Committee sneak this out the door with no notice, no announcement on the night before the 4th of July? They've released this big, unequivocal report. It took them months to do it. It directly contradicts the current assertions of the President of the United States. It directly contradicts the President's defenders in the House of Representatives, who have said, oh, yeah, the intelligence community, they don't know what they're talking about. Russia didn't do nothing as far as we can tell, right? This is a big deal from the Senate Intelligence Committee. This is controversial. This is big news. But they have timed its release and not announced its release in a way that is designed to ensure as little news coverage of this as possible. See, this is why it's good you're here. This is why it's always good to watch the news on Friday nights and the night before a holiday. Anytime when people are apparently counting on you not to be watching the news, that's what it pays to be here.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.